life. And I've been it's magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laugh. Hey, how could you lie to my face?
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league and halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just off the east bank of the Cumberland River and across the water from the Tennessee State Capitol building, there's a look at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the number 1 overall pick in the 2019 draft from Oklahoma. It's Kyler Murray.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie, one of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick?
He's a quarterback's best friend. Sets all the line calls and blocks so aggressively.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10. Play fake. Murray. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Murray with a 3rd and long. And the pressure gets to him again. Jeffrey Simmons in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Fielded just inside the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Titan football. So the Titans set to go to work for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
Now Cook running right. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They'll run on 1st down. It's McCormick. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. A great effort there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. They run the counter. McClellan. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in a long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a second time.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
At first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the second time. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Titans will be backed up deep to begin the drive as they take over 1st and 10. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 10 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
Has 9 rushing touchdowns on the season, so a lot of credit has to go to the rest of the offense, because you know those big guys up front are doing work. But now, the goal is to get to 10. And don't for a second think that the defense doesn't know that. They'd like to do their best to keep them out of the end zone in this one.
And all the way down to the 29. A big play there out of Cook. 59 yards. Terrific run from one of the fastest backs in the game today. A guy who keeps defensive coordinators up at night, no doubt.
Remember when we were meeting with the D coordinator before the game and all he talked about was run fits, making sure our guys were in the right place so there were no creases?
They missed their fits, didn't they?
Yeah, there was no fit there. The only fit was at the end when he threw his headset down after that big run.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10.
You think you gonna get this? Hey, alert 3, alert 3. Watch the action. Go. Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
Get. On first down, McCormick. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4. Defensively, here are the starters for Buffalo. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Check 31, check 31. He's coming. Double up, double up.
And to give this time to the tailback. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That's a first down pickup for Tennessee on a gain of 10. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Dalvin Cook hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Titans are able to extend their lead. Well, they have to be loving this start to the first quarter.
Well, the way that they're going, I mean, you're about 2 touchdown drives already. They feel very confident and feel like they have all the answers in this game. They're 1 point away from going up 14-0. Maybe they press the advantage and go for 2.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And that'll make the score 14-0. That time a 6-play drive. And the result in the end, a Titans touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
This secondary has really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, y'all.
Murray again, 2nd and 10. And this one complete to Will Fuller. It's a pickup of 17 on that one and a Bills first down.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
The throw there finding its way to Boyle. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. To throw again on 2nd down. Murray. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. Here's Murray. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
He'll return it from the 6. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. A 1,000-yard campaign in his sights, Charles, but needs a little bit of a kick here down the stretch to reach it.
And sometimes at this stage of the season, you're looking for that extra goal, right? That extra motivation to accomplish what you want, not just as a team, but as individuals. He's got to stretch a little bit to get there. That might be what they're talking about during the practice sessions in their meetings. Hey, we can still get this done. Let's go ahead and feed him the ball.
And the offensive line, I'm sure they're well aware of where he stands as well.
They are, and I think for them, it would be an even better accomplishment to get there now because it seems like a little bit of a reach.
On 2nd down, Cook. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. First down, Titans, gain of 12.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Titans. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Titans are able to extend their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Rosas good with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away.
Come on, fellas.
Out come the Bills as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. 15 yards that time and a Buffalo first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here's Murray from midfield. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They can't stop us. They cannot hold us.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. They get 5 yards on the run there, still left staring at a 3rd and about 14.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Bills on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 14. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. He's going deep for Brown. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That good for 22 and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Rock it.
They run again on 1st down, Cook. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle them up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to slip through.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Wide open receiver complete. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Titans are able to extend their lead.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Rosas to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a Tennessee score. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out come the Bills. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Looking to throw again on second down. Murray. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Throwing on first down is Murray.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Throwing again on second down. Murray. This will be caught by Brown. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Murray now on first down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. Yeah, they have had success on the ground, really as a team, doing well carrying the football. So maybe a little less pressure on his shoulders as the quarterback.
Any pressure he's carrying right now, that's self-inflicted, right? He's taking it on. He doesn't need to. Continue to do what you just said. Let everyone else carry the football. That's been effective. Don't have to worry about him throwing the ball in all the situations now. That's got to be a good feeling if he just relaxes and lets it keep coming to him.
Yeah, relax and enjoy the second quarter lead right now. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where you see the...
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. The Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the third quarter gets underway. This one fielded at the 5. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 13-yard line. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Right here, guys. Fight 51. Mike 51. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
He'll look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now Murray. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. Around the NFL, here's a little bit of a surprise from New Orleans. And the Cowboys, they moved out in front. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. Throwing left side here, and it's complete.
Complete to number 28. A gain of a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on 3rd down.
Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense. Yep.
Check. Motion out of the backfield. Motion out of the backfield.
Hey, Alpha. Fire.
They'll look to throw. Cook with a 1st down and much more. And he finds Cook. And he's got a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 13-yard line.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And a big loss here as he's taken down. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
With the score, Titans 28, Bills nothing.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Titans on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile.
5.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. He can't.
Back to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
We call it sack plus.
Third and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Go on. Check. Hey, foxtrot. Hey.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's going to go down again. Montez Sweat. And the Bills are going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down, it's Murray. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. Murray now, 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. The Bills on 3rd down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. He's got Fuller. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The kick by Lambeau is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Titans offense now, they get ready to do battle again here. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a run with Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Cook. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. A good run, got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3.
You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. You gonna see me in your... You're out on the go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Keep playing hard, fellas, all day. Woo!
Yo, go, go.
They'll keep it on the ground. There's McCormick. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on third down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist. Kill.
Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And some room to maneuver. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They come out here in the eye.
15 line. 54. And we heavy on the edge.
They'll run for it with Cook. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try to run this one in, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Roses now to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Now after the touchdown, here's Roses on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say,
Murray fighting, lost the football. It's picked up by the Titans, and that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Roses to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Bills getting set to go. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Tennessee, they're not going to go quietly here as the win moves them now to 8-6 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall